The next one we have over here, excuse me, is called the star, right? Now, stars are the easiest to spot because they love to be in the limelight. A star's path to wealth is through building a bigger brand. Exactly, right? They are larger than life people, they're people's people, they're very extrovert, and they usually love to be the center of attention. My ex-wife was a star, and whenever we'd have dinner parties, I wouldn't get a word in edgeways all night because she'd be yabba, 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 yabba. And for the first 2 years of our marriage, this really annoyed me until I discovered Wealth Dynamics, and we did her profile test, and we discovered that she was actually a star, and then it made so much sense to me, but that's her natural flow. That's what she does naturally, and I could just let her do her thing, knowing that, well, I'm a creator, I don't need to be in the limelight, I'm more an ideas, intellectual, understanding kind of guy, which is why I'm a teacher, right? So stars, their path to wealth is through building a brand and shining a light on other people's products. And you need to underline the word other people's products, not their own products. Creators are the product guys. Creators should be creating the products. Stars are promotion guys. They go out there and sell the products, right? So somebody like Tiger Woods would be a star. What product does he sell? Nike, right? He gets paid millions of dollars to sell Nike because of his brand. Tiger Woods is a brand. People come to watch Tiger Woods on TV and you know, on the golf course, and he just wears Nike clothing. Doesn't, you know, he just puts some clothes on, and he gets paid millions of dollars, right? Oprah Winfrey, another great star. Who does she promote? Whose products does she sell? Dr. Phil, Eckhart Tolle, all these other people, right? So that's the star's wealth creation path. Okay? Now each one of you are one of these. And you're probably listening out for which one matches you. And that's a good thing. But if you're not hugely successful already, that might also be a mistake. Because you might find the one that matches you is not the one that's most natural for you. It's just the one you've been trained to do. Maybe by your parents, maybe by your school teachers. Maybe you just happened to be in a job and you kind of, through life, just fell into this way of creating wealth, but it's not the most natural to you. But anyway, let's see where we go with this. Next one is called the supporter. Okay, what's this one called, please? The supporter. Thank you. And this is a little bit of a misleading name because I think it would be better called the leader. Supporter's path to wealth is through leading teams. These are the most extroverted people you can find. Famous example would be Steve Ballmer, CEO of Microsoft. If you ever go on YouTube, Steve Ballmer, and you see him speak, he's like, rah, in your face. He's just huge and larger than life, right? They're great leaders, and they make the best CEOs of companies. These are the people you want running your companies. Not creators, not stars. A lot of mistakes entrepreneurs make. They're the ideas guy. They come up with the idea, and then they start running their company. And they wonder why the company never gets off the ground, because creators can't finish anything, right? And they move so fast, they're on to the next idea, or halfway through the previous idea, which hasn't finished yet. These people are good at completion, they're great at leading teams, they're great at managing, right? And they're good extroverts, great networkers too. The way they create their wealth creation strategy, is taking a percentage of the creator's invention or product, okay? If they're on a salary, they'll remain broke for the rest of their life, because on a salary, you're never going to build massive wealth, because you always get trading your time for money. So what they need to do is they need to go to their creator, the person who's created the product, and say, look, I'm going to promote this business for you, but I want a cut of it, which is why Steve Ballmer, CEO of Microsoft, ended up one of the world's wealthiest men, because he had a cut of Bill Gates' company. Make sense? Yeah. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, good. I know I'm going fast, so just stick with me here. Next one down here is called the deal maker. Now, a great or famous deal maker, you may or may not like him, would be someone like Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's book is even called The Art of the Deal, right? This wealth creation strategy is all about connecting people together. These people are fantastic networkers, and they love connecting people together. Now, most deal makers connect people together, but they miss out one fundamental step, and that's getting paid for it, right? Taking a cut of the deal. So what a deal maker will do is he will know everybody in his particular industry, and he'll connect them together and take a cut of the deal and do the deal for them. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, he's another great deal maker who connects people together and puts deals together. He loves structuring deals. He's just writing a new book at the moment on deals too. So those are some famous kind of deal makers that you can understand. But the thing to know about deal makers, they're extrovert, and they're very, very good at connecting people and very good networkers. They have a Rolodex a mile long, right? Now, I want to introduce you to a new distinction before we move on. And I'm going to draw a little line down the middle here. And I'm going to put an arrow pointing left and an arrow pointing right. And on the left-hand side, because we're starting to move over here now, we have a type of personality called an introvert, right? What's it called? An? Introvert. Thank you. And what do you think this one is? An? Extrovert. Thank you. All right, so everybody on the right-hand side of the square, they're more extroverted, dynamic personalities. On the left-hand side of the square, they're more introverted in that they get their energy internally. They're not so people-orientated, they're more intellectually and numbers-orientated on the left-hand side. The people in the middle could be either or. So you'll have Bill Gates, who's an introverted creator, and Richard Branson, who's clearly an extroverted creator. They can be either or over here. Okay, make sense? Yeah. Good, thank you. Down here, we have what's called the trader profile. Okay? Now, traders, these people have an uncanny sense of timing. They're naturally gifted with timing, and their path to wealth is through using their gift for timing to buy low and sell high. Okay? Buy low and sell high. Famous traders might be someone like George Soros in the investment world, but you could find traders at your local used car dealership. Somebody who knows the markets or in the property world, and they'll buy low when the market crashes. Like I live in the Turks and Caicos right now, and the market's just bottoming out. Now, a trader who knew the market and could sense the timing would buy a property right now, hold on for a little while, fix it up, and sell it on later. This might be somebody in the internet world, and I'm going to talk about how all this applies to internet marketing in a moment. But in the internet world, this might be somebody who buys domain names. Buys, let's say, I don't know, BahamasLocal2.com, for example, and holds on to it for a while until the market lifts and then resells it on, or something like that. You've all probably heard of people buying and holding domain names. Because same thing with property. Somebody buys a property, fixes it up, flips it around, sells it again. That'll be the strategy. And here's the thing to know about these wealth creation profiles. They're not job descriptions. They're ways of creating wealth, and you will find all of these in any industry. Right? Any industry will have them. The internet marketing industry has all of these, right? The property industry has all of these. Even the music business has all of these. The creators, they're the songwriters. The stars, they're the singers. The supporters, they're the agents. The deal makers, they're the deal makers, the agents. The supporters are the managers. The traders are the record companies who buy the artists when they're unknown and sell them on later, and so on and so on. You can find these in all businesses. It's universal. All right, so down here, on the introverted side, this is our first introverted profile, accumulator. This is called the accumulator profile. Famous accumulators, the world's wealthiest man, Warren Buffett. Now, accumulators are introverted, and most introverts tend to be risk averse. If you notice, the accumulator is directly opposite from the star, okay? Where stars love splashing out on gold and diamonds and throwing money about, accumulators are totally the opposite. Warren Buffett, the richest man in the world, still drives an average Volvo family car, lives in an old house that he's had for a long time. He doesn't flash his money about. He's risk averse. He's a lot quieter. They usually move a little bit more slowly, unlike me, who speaks at 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? And their path to wealth is through collecting appreciating assets that appreciate over time, okay? So this would be in the property industry, might be someone who buys a whole lot of property and hangs onto it for 20 years, knowing that one day it's going to appreciate over time somewhere in the future. And because they're patient and they have the time and they have the patience to hold on to it, they will plan their investments very carefully, buy once, hold on for a long time, and sell in the future. Okay? And you probably all know people like this. If you're an extrovert like me, these people are kind of intimidating because you never know how they're feeling because they're a little bit quieter, they're a little bit slower, and they're harder to judge. And for me, to them, they probably think I'm like this crazy mad scientist, right? Because I'm working 1,000,000 miles an hour. So you'll see how all the personalities are represented here. This is the accumulator path to wealth, buying and holding on to appreciating assets. Think of them as collectors. They're like hoarders, right?